Again, we are the party of hope and opportunity, and it is incumbent upon each of us to be ambassadors of that hope and opportunity. Senator Cruz explained that he's a conservative because conservative policies work, because they promote entrepreneurship, opportunities, progress, and they encourage people to chase economic mobility. Senator Cruz's conclusion is that conservatives must conceptualize and articulate every domestic policy with a laser focus on easing the means of ascent. You should have a ready answer yourself as to why you are conservative, and I presume that most of you do. My challenge to each of you tonight is to find a domestic policy that interests you. Then, with a laser focus, I want you to create a sentence or two that describes to the so-called 47% how your conservative philosophy provides upward mobility for them. Will you take that challenge? Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. We're going to have a contest. We're going to see which is the best one there. Friends, language does matter. My final thoughts on language and tone relate to immigration. And Teresa Hernandez left. Again, allow me to quote Maggie Thatcher from the movie Iron Lady. Watch your thoughts for they become words. Watch your words for they become action. Watch your actions for they become habits. Watch your habits for they become your character. And watch your character for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become. As Thatcher said, the change begins with thoughts. Do we think Latino immigrants, do we think of them as bad people? Do we think of them as criminals, as illegals? Illegals because they broke the law by crossing the border without consent? So I understand it's illegal to cross the border if you get caught, but once you're in here, it's not a misdemeanor. Do we see them as bad people? After all, we are the party of the rule of law, are we not? However, in my observation, there really has been no rule of law with the immigration system. Our immigration policies are outdated and do not work, either because we have not enforced the law or because the law is unworkable. The Reagan amnesty program was supposed to solve the problem, but it didn't. Since that time, we've seen a Swiss cheese border that seemingly allows immigrants from Mexico to come and go virtually at will. In fact, the border is known to be so porous that there are freeway signs. I was there this morning and saw them in San Diego to show a ghostly silhouette of a mother and a father and a child, a young girl in pigtails being dragged across the road with a warning sign of caution above their heads. This is a pathetic admission that our immigration policies and the rule of law are not working. The sign itself is disturbing, has been reproduced and used by some as a badge for anti-immigrant sentiments. The simple fact of the matter is that there is a labor supply in Mexico and a labor demand in America. And there are people who want to find a better life than the one they have in Mexico. Our antiquated immigration policies have not been able to deal with these realities. Ronald Reagan said that the American spirit knows no ethnic, religious, social, political, regional, or economic boundary. My view is this is not just an American spirit. This is the human spirit within all of us. America just happens to be a place that allows it to thrive more. So who among us would not do the same thing if given that opportunity? If you lived in Mexico and had the opportunity to come to America to make a better life for your family and for your children, who among us would not seek that better life? Especially if the American government meted out little, if any, consequence for doing it. My caution is that there is no single right answer on the immigration issue. Amnesty is not the solution. Deportation is likewise not the solution unless you've committed a crime while in America. Somewhere in the middle of those two extremes lies a solution that recognizes the economic realities of labor supply and labor demand. Somewhere in the middle of those two extremes lies a solution that recognizes dignity, respect, and the human spirit that seeks a better life. Personally, I'm hopeful that our Republicans in Congress, like Marco Rubio, will continue to take the lead on this issue. I'm hopeful that we can come up with a policy that brings the undocumented workers in this country out of the shadows. Certainly, we are creative enough to create a system that involves work permits, employer verification, and border protection. It is time for Republicans to lead on this issue. Of course, we are not a policy-making body, but we are leaders in our neighborhood and our communities. As leaders, we should be fully engaged in this issue so that we can bring a solution to this challenge. I want to leave you with one final challenge tonight. Let us move forward as a party with a renewed effort for our grassroots. Let us move forward as a party with new messengers that reflect our growing ethnic diversity. And let us move forward as a party with language and tones that articulate for all of America that conservative policies provide the hope for new opportunities, upward mobility, and lasting prosperity for all in America. Thank you, and God bless you all.